Hello, my name is Lysa Black and I'm a heart healer, here having a beautiful interview with Paula McFarlane from Insight Coaching. She is a soul-based business coach who offers profound insight for business owners, both into their personal and professional lives. Thank you for being here with us today, Paula.
Thanks, Lisa. It's good to be here.
I really love talking about the simplest way to attract ideal clients. There is so much misinformation out there, so many epic strategies, and I really want to hear from you directly. What is the most simple strategy that you believe will actually allow us to attract our ideal clients?
Well, I think you're right, Lisa, and I think, when we first start our business, particularly if we're working, in a soul-based business, it can be really confusing to try and find the right thing, the right strategy, the right wording to attract the clients that you're desperate to work with. But at the end of the day, what I've found is the simplest way to attract clients that are right for you is to actually be yourself.
So true. And I think that's the last thing that we think of doing. We kind of think, like you said, when we're starting out in business, and you've just had such a beautiful journey of actually transitioning from a corporate career and actually giving yourself permission to step into your own business. I'd love it if you can share a little bit about that. But I think it's very much not emphasized, that being who we are is actually the simplest and easiest thing that we can do. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your journey from corporate over into having your own soul-based business now, and the path you've taken to be able to reveal more of who you are?
Well, I've been working as a soul-based business coach now for about 18 months. Prior to that, I was working as in a national sales manager's role for a large natural medicine company, and I'd been working for that company for about 10 years. And it was managing teams that actually led me to coaching, looking for tools to support people to really move through their blocks. And, particularly when you're dealing with sales, we're asked every day to come up against the parts of us that are a little bit raw, or where we're tripping ourselves up. And that's how we get to our goals. And if we don't confront what's limiting us, what's holding us back, we just don't get there. So I started studying coaching to give me some tools to support the team that I was working with, and ultimately that's what led me to where I am now. That and a real desire, after I lost my husband to cancer, just a real desire to do the work that I am here to do, and to really live a life that is in alignment with who I am. And it's actually that has impacted on the way that my business has developed the most. Because when I first started coaching, I had all these ideas in my head about how it was meant to be done.
Yeah.
And I hear this from my clients as well. It's so overwhelming when you set your business up and you go out into the social media world, and there's every 5 minutes there's a new course or webinar or program that you can enroll to that's going to give you the 5 strategies to have a 6-figure business in 6 months. And you actually end up feeling like there is something that everyone else knows that you don't know. And there is something that everyone else knows that you don't know. At that point there is, and that is that the more you step into who you are in your business, the more the people that need you and need what you offer can see you, and therefore can find you and feel the invitation to work with you.
And that's beautiful. I think, isn't it the most exposing, vulnerable thing, though, to really share who we are when we're stepping into business, to actually be like, here I am, here's what I think. How did you allow yourself to do that? Wasn't that exposing, or didn't you feel nervous about how people would perceive you, hon?
I did, and I questioned even why I was doing this. For me, it was a big process of letting go, both physically, letting go of where I lived and the life that I'd been accustomed to, but also letting go of the beliefs that I held about myself and about how the world perceived me, because it's those things that we put on ourselves that are actually what gets in the way. And I think the other key thing, and this is another big theme that comes up for me with my clients, is that when you're feeling a little bit scared about something you're going to do in your business and it feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's when you're really getting there. And we're taught to step away from the scary stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're socially acclimatized to. Yeah.
But, it's just that you describe fear, and when you think of fear and excitement and you think of them side by side, they're really, really similar. When you think of anxiety and excitement, they're really, really similar physical, emotional experiences. And so, we're conditioned to think it's if you feel anxious, then there's something you're doing that's not right. Mm-hmm. But I would actually argue if you feel anxious, just check in. Actually, maybe you're just feeling a little bit excited about the step that you're going to take.
That it's right for you and that you are being really true to yourself.
But I think also I had to take the pressure off myself. I was putting an enormous amount of pressure on myself to get it right and to get the numbers and to achieve the goals. And in reality, when you're doing your soul work, it has its own time schedule.
Yeah.
Because you learn as you go.
That's beautiful. I love hearing the insights from you, Paula, and I would really love it for those who are watching, if you could walk us through a moment, one of those moments where you were feeling anxious, when you knew that you were actually doing something more true to yourself, revealing more of who you are. Can you walk us through a pivotal moment of when that came up for you and what actually happened as a consequence?
I guess, I outed myself in a networking group. So I belong to a couple of different networking groups here in Christchurch where I live, and one of those groups, it was my turn to have a speaking slot. And I've never been afraid of public speaking, but I knew that day that actually I needed to really own. I knew because one of my clients had said to me, I came to you because I knew you did the spiritual stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how did you know that? But
who told you?
Working with that particular client was so rewarding, because I was able to really help her on a different level. And, that brought me so much joy and pleasure. So I knew that I actually had to own what a soul-based business coach is in that public forum. I had to say it out loud, and I had to stop hiding behind the traditional ideas of what a business coach was, because that was just bringing me clients that that just needed me to tell them to do stuff.
Yeah. Which just wasn't why you were in it. You weren't in it to do that.
Yeah, but and it was talking that day and then realizing that many of the people I was speaking to that day actually found a real strong connection with what I was saying, and consequently some of them became clients. I realized that, unless I actually say who I am and speak to what it is that I do for people, I don't know.
No, it's so true, and we know it so clearly. You just presume that the whole world knows and that they don't want you because they're not coming towards you. But I really love that you took such a courageous move to reveal your heart, to reveal the distinguishing element of you actually being a soul-based business coach who does do spiritual aspects in your work, even though it's going to be productive and beneficial for their business as well. That is such a distinguishing point that as you laid it out there, that was the exact reason why some people walk closer to you. And I'm just so thankful for you sharing that for the people who are watching, because these are our sensitive, vulnerable areas. It's our connection to spirit that has often been the point of ridicule and judgment in the past, where we've actually been criticized or isolated or abandoned. And what I find is for soulful, intuitive, creative people like you and I to really emerge in the world, we have to go and take those parts of us that were so vulnerable and so raw and then go, ta-da, and just present it to the world like on this banner. And what would you say to encourage anyone who is in the process of doing this and knowing they need to do it more? What could you say to really encourage them and help them to share more of who they really are, Paula?
I would encourage people to get support. And I'm a big believer in getting support with the areas that are, that you need support with, that are vulnerable, that just feel sensitive to deal with on your own. So get support, and then, you don't need to stand on a stage and shout it from the rooftops. It's fine just to share it with one person. It's fine to share it with 2 people. It's fine just to get comfortable sharing the gems of who you are on a small scale before you need to reveal yourself standing naked on the stage.
For the whole world to see.
Yeah, you know, and doing it in a small way like that gives you the comfort of knowing that who you are will be accepted.
Mm-hmm. You're so right. And I'm just so grateful that we want to invite you today to really allow yourself to share just one little gem, a little bit more of who you really are with just one more person. And we would love to hear how that goes for you. What has stood out to you from this interview? Is this the simplest way to actually attract ideal clients? Have you had experiences that have confirmed this, or are you still unsure? We would love to hear from you. Please comment below. What I love about Paula is that she really does bring through powerful insight. And what I love is that procrastination is also one of her fortes. And Paula actually has a webinar coming up. It's going to be on the 25th of July, which is a Tuesday. And she'll be talking into what is at the root of procrastination. And we've got details in the link below, and this might be something that you really need to look at. If you're feeling stuck, if you know that you're actively avoiding and procrastinating things in your work, definitely check out the details to see if that calls to you. What do you really think is at the heart of procrastination, Paula, that you're going to be speaking into in this webinar?
I think we can get really caught up in beating ourselves up about procrastinating. I totally believe that it serves a purpose. You know, at the root of most procrastination, there is fear.
Yeah.
So it's fear of success, or it's fear of failure, or it's fear and discomfort around what it is that we're bringing to the forefront. And there's a lot of different ways that you can work with that.
Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful. I think just hearing that procrastination has a purpose and that we don't have to judge ourselves is just refreshing. That's an enlightening perspective, that we don't have to doom and gloom and be harder on ourselves when we are procrastinating.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. So I'm really excited to share some tools and some tips about dealing with procrastination because it can be so uncomfortable for us, and also for digging a little bit deeper and finding what is at the root of it for you, so that you can really accelerate your progress.
You just do it so gently and so lovingly. I love the wisdom that you bring through in your work. Thank you so much for your time and for your insight today, Paula. I appreciate it so much.
No worries. Thank you.
We hope that you've really loved this interview, and I have put all of the links in the bottom of this interview so that if you want to reach out and follow Paula on Facebook or Instagram, there will be links to her website, so go ahead and check out her social media. For those of you who are really soul-based, who are intuitive creatives, who are the natural healers of the world, if you're wanting to understand more about how you can share your soul to become sought after and prosperous in your soul work, go ahead and download my soul sharing guide, where I share how I've actually been able to thrive and prosper as a healer by sharing the truth of who I am. I wish everyone knew how to do this. So thank you for sharing your story on how you've done this, Paula, and we hope that you've had an amazing time in this interview. Tell us which was the part that you loved hearing the most from Paula. Thank you so much. Mwah.